Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to the episode of my F1 2019 mod career mode here with Charles Leclerc in his Ferrari for round number 15 today at the Singapore Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the previous one at the Italian GP, then be sure to go check that one out before you see this one. It's been a good roll for us. Obviously, 2 races in a row now, spoiler alert, that we've gone and won the Grand Prix. So, finding that momentum once again after quite a few races of being winless as a team as a whole as well. But Singapore is going to be a tough one. I mean, it has been a bit of a Ferrari favourite in recent years, but you know, Merc will be strong around here as well as Red Bull, I imagine, as well. So that's going to be a tricky one. I think we're going to have a real big fight against many cars compared to what we had in the last 2 races. And so we go into qualifying then, and it's going to be quite tight. You can see already into turns 1 and 2, it was already swapping about. We're down to P5 at one moment, we're into P1. Here you can see it's the hairpin. We're in P1 as we went through the bridge, and then down to P4, then back up into P2, now down to P4 again as we go through into the last sector. So it's very, very close and tight here in this street circuit. We go through to the main part of the last sector under the grandstands here, and at the moment in P1, but hitting a lot of understeer on that right-hander there, and then over the bump, trying to wrestle the car through, back up into P2, little snap of oversteer on the exit through the last corner then, a little bit more understeer, and then takes us wide, but we're into P1, and we go across the line, and it is going to be P1, and that is pole position at the Singapore Grand Prix, and that was actually a very surprising one, because I thought at the end there I lost it with the understeer I had in the last sector. But Gasly in P2, then what did I say, the Red Bulls being strong, Hamilton P3, Vettel P4, Verstappen P5, Bottas P6. Then you've got Carlos Sainz in P7 alongside Raikkonen, and then Hulkenberg and Grosjean share a row for the top 10. Magnussen, Norris alongside each other outside the top 10, and then Ricciardo, Perez, Kvyat and Giovinazzi down to P16. Albon in P17, Lance Stroll P18 in the second Racing Point car, and then the last row is confined to the Williams car, who really struggled around Singapore. But the main story is we're in pole position for this race today then. But Singapore is a very tough Grand Prix, one of the longest on the calendar, and the tyre wear is really quite horrendous, especially on this game. So it's going to be a challenge here from pole. You saw Gasly was very close to me in qualifying. So it's going to be a 2-stop hypers to 2 sets of ultras. It'll be key to try and keep those hypers in check at the very start of the Grand Prix. But like I said, it was so close in terms of time gaps between not even myself and Gasly, but the second row to Hamilton and Vettel. So it's going to be a real close fight, I think, because everyone is very much on the pace. And so, like I said, tyre wear will be a major deciding factor, and in recent previous career modes, tyre wear has almost killed off my race, because once you overheat the tyres, especially around Singapore here on this game, it's so hard to bring them back into check. So it's going to be a tough one, but we're on pole, we're in the best place possible to start the Grand Prix. So let's just get into this then and see how we do. On a roll, 2 wins in a row, can we make it 3? Let's see. As we now go to the race start and we rev up our engine for 5 red lights to round 15, the Singapore Grand Prix of the 2019 season is nearly upon us. 4 red lights are out and we're underway. It's a slow start for us, a delayed one. Gasly gets a great getaway there into P1. We touch tyres on the left-hand side. He's into turn 1 on the left. Hamilton on the outside there. And Hamilton's taken us round, and he's hit us on the side pod. And Hamilton has taken us wide. Both myself and Hamilton, the 2 championship leader contenders there in P1 and 2 in the standings, sent wide. Thankfully not straight to the wall, but Hamilton, what on earth has gone there? Controversy there, because he pretty much spun me round in a completely round, almost controlled it and then took it round the other way and sent the car the right way around on the left hand side, but we missed the barrier. But now we're down to P18, Hamilton's P20. We send one down the inside of the Williams car, and now we're right behind Lance Stroll in the Racing Point car. But absolute calamity for not only me but and Hamilton. So both us championship leaders are now out of the points, way down into the last place, and this is how it looked on board from Hamilton there. Obviously, great start from Gasly to get me, and then Hamilton's off circuit. Come on, man, you're off circuit and you took me out. Like, you had no right to even try anything there. At that point, you should have bailed out, went right of the sleeping policeman, and just went across and cut the entire track and basically come back to in a safer place. Because at that point, there was no way he's going to make the corner. On board from Verstappen there, you can see my car also very quickly turned right. So it was very, very sensitive on the side pod there, and I'm lucky not to have any damage there. Thankfully, the F1 game doesn't have any kind of simulation on the damage on the side pod, otherwise that would be pretty much completely gouged on the right-hand side there. But Hamilton effectively, making me go wide there, and then obviously I tried to control it, but the way the car was spinning, just no way to get it round. Thankfully, it wasn't put into the barrier, because with the speed we had, we probably could have been punted straight into the wall with the front wing off. So at least we've got no damage, per se for that kind of way. And so we're in P17, chasing after Alexander Albon, who's been overtaken by Lance Stroll already. Yeah, now for me and Hamilton, it's a massive comeback drive great proportions. It's Gasly in P1, I believe, Vettel P2. I imagine Verstappen kept that P3 then with Bottas P4 as we go and overtake Alexander Albon. But yeah, now it's a bit of a different Grand Prix. Like I said, it was going to be all about tyre wear. Now more so than ever, because we have to try and go a little bit longer on these hypersoft tyres to maybe try and get ourselves back into this Grand Prix. And well, it's going to be a tough one because Singapore Street Circuit is going to be very tough to overtake these cars, especially Sector 3 is going to be a nightmare to overtake cars. We go across the line for on lap number 5. We overtake some cars who have made an early pit stop on lap 5 there, including my teammate. But we're in P13. You can see I'm in this train with Lance Stroll and Giovinazzi and Kvyat there, and I still can't get past Lance Stroll. It's been 4 laps and I haven't got ahead of Stroll. You know, we're right there up his chuff on lap 2. We still couldn't overtake him. He actually went and overtook the Toro Rosso before I could even get him. And you can see in a straight line with DRS available for him, it's tough right now, but we're going to try a diving move around the outside. It's a bold one. Going to have to make it a bold one like that because he even gets the elbows out on the left-hand side. But that's the only way I can make that move, really, because that Racing Point car, very quick in a straight line, so we have to really get bold with the move on the outside and also just to have the contact there to make that move. We're up into P12, thankfully. Now DRS available to try and overtake Giovinazzi, but the Alfa Romeo Racing car has a good straight line speed. Round the outside he goes to Kvyat there, and he's made it. Oh, Kvyat there slows down massively. I thought I could go for the dive down the inside of Kvyat, but he slowed so much earlier than I thought so, and Giovinazzi as well. And so we narrowly avoid a massive collision there with Giovinazzi. Thankfully, just banging tyres and the suspension arms very, very strong for myself and the Italian, and so we're able to survive that. But on lap 6, we now come in finally for our pit stop. Those guys were all on ultras, so they can go a lot longer in the Grand Prix. I was the only guy in the top flight who remained out for so long on the hypersoft tyres. We're now in for a set of ultras. Like I said, though, thankfully no damage that entire time, no front wing change needed from that collision on lap number 1, so we can go on our way. But at the moment, we're still very much out of sync of everyone pretty much in terms of the midfield and the top flight, because we come out, we're going to be out in P19, I believe this is. The only man behind us is Lewis Hamilton, so both of us still have a long way to go. I suspect this stint will be very important, this second stint, to try and really catch up and carve our way through the field. Of course, some people, like I said, yet to pit because they're on ultras and they're going a lot longer in the Grand Prix in this first stint, so we will gain some free positions with pit stops. But right now it's looking pretty doom and gloom. Right now we're still P19, down the inside of the Williams car, Russell, up into P18, PB, personal best of the race. But now we just go on a lot of clean air and we try and do the best job to try and chase after cars. And the good thing is we move on to looking at Giovinazzi here. He has some damage on the front wing, I believe, on the front left, as well as Sebastian Vettel, who is only 2 cars behind Giovinazzi. Obviously, Vettel's made his pit stop already. Giovinazzi is not yet. Vettel's made his pit stop. That Red Bull behind him, Verstappen, has also made his pit stop. But Vettel, I believe, is carrying some damage as well to his front wing. I don't know where that happened. Probably with Verstappen, I would imagine, or maybe with some traffic here. And Giovinazzi also carrying damage. And then you've got this mega train and fight between the Racing Point car. Bottas makes his way through the midfield. And all 5 of those cars fighting so much means by the time I get to laps 10, this is, I'm catching up to Kubica. And you can see the train on the minimap is not too far ahead, actually. So we're going to get some brilliant traction on the pole and go down the inside of him here. It's going to be a very, very close move. You can see they're having to let off the throttle and try and control the car as it jerks on the rear end. Have to go opposite lock there on the right hander. We get it through into P17. The Williams car tries to come back at us, of all things, but we managed to just about navigate that. And now we close up on Grosjean and we close up to this huge train, which is at the forefront is that Alfa Romeo Racing car of Giovinazzi. We're down the inside, and this is a crucial moment in the Grand Prix about trying to carve through this midfield traffic here, catching up to Hulkenberg as well, because a lot of these guys will be slow the entire Grand Prix, so it's very crucial. I need to get past them as quickly as we can. Dive down the inside of the German there into the hairpin, catch him napping. Very nice move. And now again we are reunited with Alexander Albon, who's obviously very much out of sync of this GP because he's been going on those tyres for a long time now. As we go down the inside with DRS, not able to make it work yet on lap 12 because Albon's also going to try and make a move on the Racing Point car, so I don't really know where to go. This is going to hold us up even more, but here we go to the outside then of the Brit Thai driver on the outside of the next turn as well, and we finally complete that move, and we're trying to even go around the outside of Lance Stroll as well. And again, that Racing Point car, very annoying to overtake. We're going to have to swing through and make the move on the main straight. We have DRS, a little bit of a twitch on the oversteer, but we make it work on the exit, and we have to complete the move down the straight with DRS, squeeze him out there. But you can see that Racing Point car really does have a great amount of straight line speed because he held me all the way into the brake zone there, pretty much with his nose there. Now we close up to Lando Norris, and again, we are met with this train finally here, and it's actually now led by Sebastian Vettel, I believe. I think at the top end there, because that's that red dot that's nearly at the very forefront of this train. So very much so, something's happened, and the pace is a lot slower than I thought it would be. So this is going to help me and Hamilton, to be fair, because Hamilton's only a few cars behind me, I believe. And so we go around the outside of Lando Norris, and we see a great fight between Raikkonen and Magnussen up ahead of us there. The Alfa Romeo Racing V, the Rich Energy Haas car. We're up into P10 though. We're overtaking Norris, and now we come through onto the back straight. Can we get a good slingshot maybe to try and overtake someone? Big tank of oversteer again. DRS open though. Let's see, can Raikkonen make a move or anything's going to happen? No, it doesn't look like any move's going to be made, to be honest here. So we're going to stick behind. But you can see, look at the slow pace we've got into that left-hander. It means we can now close up and make a move to Raikkonen, and Vettel is just up the road, 5 cars ahead, as we still battle Raikkonen, and a bit of side pod damage to Raikkonen, a bit of a black soot on from the tyre sidewall there as we go round the outside, trying to still get this P9. Raikkonen putting up a great fight, but we finally make it through on the outside. But yeah, Vettel is just there. So, you know, now it's looking like what was a massive recovery drive. We're actually near our teammate now on track, so this is looking a lot better now, and we're just about only halfway through this Grand Prix then. So things are looking on the up, and we could actually make a very good recovery here. We try and overtake Carlos Sainz, who squeezes me very much nearly into the wall on the right-hand side there. Didn't know I was probably there, to be honest, but we made the move down the inside up into now what is P6, then P4 eventually, because people make pit stops, including Vettel, and we're closing up on Magnussen now on the outside there on the right-hand kink with DRS, and we're up into P3 now on lap 17, and Bottas is just up the road in P2. So I don't know if he's got any issues in the car, but it looks, at least right now, it looks like we're pretty high up the order. But of course, we now need to make our pit stop and see where we come out of things on lap 19. And the tyre wear has obviously kicked in, but going a little bit longer than maybe my engineer wanted me to, because he wanted me to pit on that previous lap 17. So by going a little bit longer, maybe I've been able to maybe get a bit more tyre life into this second stint. We'll have to see, but the tyre wear was pretty harsh at the end of that stint on the Ultras. So like I said, Singapore is always one of the most difficult circuits on the calendar for tyre wear, especially on the F1 game. It's so hard to bring the tyre temps back into range and bring it back into working range. So we come out now ahead of the Racing Point car. Where are we going to be on track though? I can see a McLaren's just passed us, a Renault's passed as well. And so we come out behind Hulkenberg. We come side by side with another Racing Point car, and it's, oh, surprise, surprise, it's Lance Stroll for the 3rd time in this Grand Prix now. On the outside, this is going to slow down, brake on purpose a little bit early, trying to get in this cutback line, but we don't get it. DRS open though, we'll get the slingshot and go to the inside. The Canadian's going to squeeze us, and more contact made on the front left for us on that car, as he really just doesn't leave us the room. But we keep the elbows out, and we're up into P13 now. But yeah, we've lost a lot of time there in the overcut, effectively. The undercut's been very powerful there for some of these midfield guys. So now lap 20, 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Same hairpin, closing up to Hulkenberg, this time unable to make a move to the inside. But on the exit, look at the speed we got there. Ferrari v Renault power. No match here. Down the inside we go over the German, and we're going to have to squeeze him out, and he's going to have to let go of that on the exit, and we're up into P12. But remember, obviously, no more pit stops now in this Grand Prix, so P12, come on, let's fight for it. We get one more free position, someone in the pit lane, and now we've got Sainz and Raikkonen fighting. Sainz tried to go around the outside. It's a good diving move from the Spaniard. Very lovely move, actually, around the outside of Raikkonen. We tried to go down the inside of the Iceman there. He's going to pinch us a little bit. We're on the curb. We've had to go complete opposite line to try and control the car and keep it in a straight line, so unable to make that move. Raikkonen, probably good Wily or Fox move to really to send me to the inside there, because that curb is very nasty and just unable to do anything there. The Alfa Romeo Racing car very good in a straight line apparently, because both of us DRS. He's still holding it through, and we're unable to make a move. We go to the inside and try to go to the outside. Raikkonen, I don't know where on earth he's going. He's defending very well. This time though, we get the run on the outside, and we're able to send it, and we're up into P9 finally. But Raikkonen could have made that even worse for me, because if I didn't get that move to the outside, then that would have been completely donezo probably for that attempt for that entire sector then. And now we close up to Carlos Sainz on lap 24, and we're going to have to try and get a move on this main straight. The McLaren has DRS, but we have good straight line speed here against the McLaren. Overtake mode, and Rich Mix engaged. We go to the inside. Very late move that was, actually, to the inside there. That was. We make it worse. Sainz kind of backs out that in the brake zone, and we're up into now what is P6. So actually It is pretty high, but actually somehow, hang on, how has Hamilton got ahead of us? I don't know how on earth that's happened. Lewis Hamilton has managed to jump us. He's been behind us the entire Grand Prix. I guess maybe he made an undercut pit stop, and he's done bits, and he's now ahead of us. So here we go, fighting maybe the man that took us both out of contention of a race win and podium in the first lap of the Grand Prix. We're behind him now. He blocks up into turn 1 on lap 26 and effectively brake checks me into turn 1. So I guess maybe some on-purpose good defensive drive from Hamilton. I don't think that was very much on purpose though. But yeah, Hamilton's ahead of us now. So the man who took me out into turn 2, we'll have to try and re-overtake him now for P5. So this might be a little bit tetchy, to be honest, because the mood might be a bit frosty. Both of us remember what happened on lap 1. And so I don't want anything funny happening as we try to overtake him. But for now, he's got some good straight line speed there. So I was unable to make anything work on the main straight. We're going to have to try on the next lap. Lap 27 this is. Still same place on track. But this time, I don't know, if I can get a better run into this next right-hander, I'll have a better chance. So here we go. We have got the power down a little bit earlier than him. DRS open, of course. Overtake mode. Rich mix auto flowing. And so here we go to the outside. And it'll be the inside for the next left-hander. Hamilton, though, is pulling this car really well on the brake zone there. I just can't get completely alongside him. Now we do, though, because he's let off throttle. We're on the outside. We're going to brake early. Go for this switchback line to the inside. Hamilton on my left, getting the elbows out there. And you can see he actually cuts across a little bit and taps me wide. And so on the exit there on the right-hander, literally drifting through a little bit as the rear end swerms away. And so he remains in P5. And Hamilton doing a stellar defensive job and really being a thorn in my side at the moment here as we move on to lap 28 then. 4 laps to go in this Grand Prix. We can make a move to the outside. He's slow into turn 1. We're so close to rubbing tyres. And this is how you make a move, Hamilton, into turn 2 there. Being fully alongside, not taking someone out on the side pod there. But still, Hamilton remains there. And he's doing such a good... That Merc is so good in a straight line and on the exits that it's just keeping ahead. And so we tried to make another move on the inside of the right-hander. Doesn't work out. DRS now. We're side by side. Hamilton's just ahead by an inch there. But we're still putting it through. Carlos Sainz ultimately joining the party. Down into that brake zone. Sainz tries to make it 3 wide. He has made it 3 wide. And Sainz trying to get involved now and make a move and catch us both napping here into the next right-hander. Trying to squeeze Hamilton now up into P6. He's there once again cutting across us there and pushing us nearly right into the wall. We go for this switchback line and it's a real ding-dong battle. Been going on for now 2-3 laps nearly. And we're again on the inside. Big lock up on the front left though as the tyres start to try and ache a little bit. The tyre wear is very much kicking in. You can even see that on the texture on the front left there. But we're through on the inside under the tunnel, over the bridge underpass, but into the hairpin. We're a little bit deep and Hamilton has got it to the inside. He's got great traction once again and you can see in that camera shot Hamilton has pulled alongside us once more. We're on whole lap mode and still that Mercedes car pulls a little bit more. We're a little bit slow into that corner to try and defend against Carlos Sainz and Hamilton. That means he keeps it in P5 for now. Can we have any other chance to make a move? We've got 3 laps left, but unfortunately no it's not. My tyres start to go off and you can see here on sector 3 on the last lap of the Grand Prix I'm actually really struggling with a lot of understeer with these tyres here, and Hamilton has pulled away a gap of about 1 second or more, and so we're going to have to live to fight another day. Hamilton's P5, we're in P6. It's a noble effort to come back in this Grand Prix. Ultimately though, a bit of a frustrating Singapore GP.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Brilliant stuff from Red Bull today. What a superb victory. And Anthony Davidson, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
So it'll be Pierre Gasly that picks up his 2nd win of the season then. Obviously very easy when myself and Hamilton were taken out of that entire contention. Bottas 2nd place, Verstappen P3. It was a really poor showing for Vettel then with that damage he had, I'm pretty sure, in the first stint down to, or the 2nd stint rather, down to P4 in that. Hamilton P5, myself P6, Ricciardo P7, Carlos Sainz P8, Sergio Perez P9 and Raikkonen P10. So overall for us, it's a good recovery from, what was 2nd last place and the mass amount of traffic we had to carve through there. So we've done well to get up to there, but really gutted we couldn't get Hamilton in the end there, but he put up a mega defensive drive. The amount he's like weaving around, pushing me wide and getting the elbows out there, and the traction that Merc was so strong there, especially into that hairpin, was really great. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Driver standings wise then, Hamilton will close up a little bit, but not too much. There's still a decent enough cushion, I guess. 4 points, it's not too much, but I'll take it at least at this stage of the championship. We're getting into this, the last third of the season now, so I will very much take that cushion in the championship then. Bottas remains in P3. Pretty much all the standings remain the same, I'm pretty sure, with Perez remaining ahead of Sainz and Ricciardo there. Constructors-wise as well, Ferrari still second place there. Overall, Mercedes outscore us again in this Grand Prix. So, you know, we're going to need that actual 1-2. We've got close to 1-2s in the last 2 episodes, but we actually need a 1-2 maybe, or at least a 2-3 with Ferrari, and with Merc not being that first place at some point to try and close back this championship in the constructors-wise, because otherwise Merc are just going to be able to consistently outscore us just a little bit, like a little bit. But guys, if you did enjoy what was a very hectic and dramatic Singapore Grand Prix from the get-go on that one, then be sure to smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you are new around here, do subscribe for weekly full-on content. I've been aarava. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.